Sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, fam.
All right. So, hey guys, hello. My name is Rutuja. Rutuja Sawan, and Aisha Khan sponsored me in this business. I live in Buffalo, New York, and I go to University of Buffalo. I'm a civil engineering and media studies double major. Um, so now about um, why we all are here. So we're gonna we have a lot of amazing speakers today, and we're gonna talk about different types of associations and why they are there and how one can maximize the use of it, and also why association is important. So when actually Amway started in 1970, it wasn't an association, so people came and left until Bill Britt thought like it needs to be an association, so that because there was nothing to hold tight, so he thought that there is a need for an association where people could be educated as well, and so that it could also become a learning place. So this is why we are here. People are gonna talk about it. Definitely take notes, and I may have to ask you guys to mute yourself so that the speakers won't be interrupted, but definitely keep your video on. So without further ado, I'll introduce the first speaker. So he's an engineering at FIT in Florida. And his business is growing really fast, and he's persistent. His business is like all over the place. So let's welcome our first speaker, Rishabh.
Hey guys, how you guys doing? Can you guys hear me all right? Yeah, thumbs up. All right, cool. Sweet. So yeah, as Ritu just said, my name is Rishabh. Big surprise. And I am an engineer at Florida Florida Institute of Technology. Sorry. Today I'll be mainly talking about the importance of phone team and what exactly it is for people that are not just new, but also people who might have just been to one or two of them. So what is phone team, first of all? So it's basically, we could say that it's a bunch of IBOs coming together, right? And they basically call up anybody and as many people as they know in a certain amount of time, and try to get them started in the business by introducing, by pretty much scheduling plans with them. So like, what would you do, right? At phone team specifically, how would you prepare for that? Well, first of all, you need a list. In the four basics, one of the things, the first thing actually that they go over is basically create a list A, create a list B, and a list C. And in phone team, that's when you want to pretty much pursue those lists. So make sure you create a list of all the contacts you have, and you go on from there. Next is once you first of all, why would I go there, right? So I personally go there because it lays out my whole week. I think that if I lay out my whole next week, then I have no excuses to say that, oh, I had this, I had that, or I had something else, right? So it makes you on top of your game. It helps you bring your business first, even though it might be secondary. So let's say you're done with work or school or whatever, you know exactly what times you have phone team, and then you could work your schedule around that later on. So everything's pretty much pre-scheduled, which is great. Why should you come every week? Well, it's literally a crucial step to the business, building business, right? It's literally the hand-to-hand level combat that you need to grow your team. And what should you do to prepare for phone team, and what should you do after? As I said, you should pretty much have your lists, but at the end of each phone team, this is something Mohammed went over with me, which I found very interesting, which is basically write down exactly which calls you made and how they went, and who was a hit, who was a miss, what went to voicemail and whatnot. So you have a overall list of all the calls you made. So then, you could just look over that in the future. And last but not least, benefits of setting up your calendar is basically, as I said, you have no excuses to not hustle. This is the perfect tool for you to pretty much step up your game and say that, okay, in this week, I want to accomplish this. And then you execute. And obviously, not 100 out of 100 will work, but even if 50 works, that's fine. You're still stepping 2 steps ahead rather than just staying at the same spot. And without further ado, let's bring up the next speaker. He's one of the new recruits in Orlando, and his name's Jim. And let's welcome Jim.
Hi guys, can you guys hear me? All right. First of all, I would like to thank Mohammed for giving me a chance to speak tonight. My name is Jim. I am from Orlando in Florida. I am studying at UCF. I'm a freshman doing a psychology major. And today I would like to speak about a topic that I think most of us are very familiar with, okay? Which is open meeting. So I would like to go over what is open meeting, why I personally go to open meeting, and how you can use the open meeting to maximize your result in the business. So first of all, what is open meeting, or what do you do in open meeting? So actually, open meeting is a weekly meeting that is set up by the BWW Associations. And how I like to see open meeting is that it is divided into kind of 2 parts, whereby the first part of the open meeting is about a guest speakers who will show the business plan. And the second part of the open meeting is about a pace training for the IBOs. So personally, why do I go to the open meeting? I just started as an IBO a few months ago, and I am not quite ready yet to be showing a plan effectively. So whenever I have a guest, I will try to bring my guests to the open meeting, because at the open meeting, they have a guest speakers who's actually achieving a lot of success in the business, and they are invited to talk and show the business plan to everyone, including IBOs and the guests. So as a result, your guests will be able to see the actual work that were done by the both new IBOs and the successful IBOs, and they will have a better idea of like what this business is about, and they will have like a bigger point of view. And another thing is that it's about good associations. You guys might have heard this line like maybe 1,000 times already, but in case some of you miss out, the line is like you are who you hang out with. And when you go to the open meeting, you actually get to meet a lot of successful IBOs and new IBOs who are willing to share their successful experience with you. And when I go to the open meeting, I like to observe how IBO thinks, how successful IBO thinks. I like to observe their habits and their methods of doing things, and I kind of apply it and adapt it into my own business. And lastly, I want to talk about how you can use open meeting to maximize your business, all right? The way you want to think of an open meeting is like a pillar to your business. Something like a central community whereby you know that, okay, this week, today, Tuesday, there will be an open meeting at what time and which time. You know exactly what you should be doing, and you know that at this particular time and day of this week, you will be meeting up with your IBOs to see the business plan. And the number of the people in your team in the open meeting can show the strength of your business. Let me tell you why. The number of people in your open meeting will determine the number of people that will be going to the major conference with you. And the number of your team in the major conference will determine how much money you will make monthly. So let's take an example. Maybe you have a team of 3 people, including yourself, and you invited 10 guests to the open meeting. Maybe roughly 3 people decided to show up to your open meeting. And with a team of 6, you go to the major conference together. And let's assume that every IBOs will maintain a balance of like 150 PV per month. So maybe by the time you go to the major conference, you have 6 people in the team. So 150 PV times 6 is about roughly 900 PV. So at the end of the month, you have your team generate roughly around in total of 900 PV. So that is how the number of your team will determine the strength of your business and determine how much money you're going to make in the business. And that's it for me tonight. And next up, I would like to invite Adam. He's from Rochester. He's getting his real estate license and he is building a big business in the New York. Please welcome Adam.
All right. Give me thumbs. Okay, great. So yeah, as Jim said, I'm actually not getting my real estate license anymore because I already got it. Okay. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So I'm going to be talking about PACE in the weekly meetings and why they're important. So first of all, what is PACE? What PACE is that it's an association that gets together and it teaches new IBOs about the business in a group setting. And it also is there to continuously educate IBOs that are returning as well. And like Jim said, when he talked about paying attention to the way people speak, paying attention to their behaviors, that is something that everybody on every level can pay attention to and learn from. Because at PACE, you have people who are 300 PV, brand new, platinum. So there's so much to pay attention to no matter where you are. And that's and it provides a good association for anyone to maybe get their head back in the game. Because let's face it, a lot of people get distracted, right? PACE is that perfect opportunity to like just turn that switch back on. For me, that's why PACE is very important for me. And the weekly trainings. The thing about weekly trainings is that there's a lot of people around the country who don't have a PACE or an association, an association that they can get together in person. So we we carve out some time so that all those people can connect online and we can have sort of like a mini PACE information meeting, training. So until there's like a good enough association where you guys can actually have a PACE of your own, wherever it is that you are. And another thing, very important. How should you use these weekly trainings and PACE to build your team? Well, it's not quite enough to just tell someone about the business. Once you show them the team and you start showing them people who've achieved success, showing people who are also new in the business, when you show people, when you just show people the team and they see the excitement in the people of the team, it seems more real to them, you know? There's only so much words can explain. So when you bring someone to an association, whether it's a weekly training or PACE, it just seems so much more real. Yeah. And of course, the PACE and weekly trainings are definitely important for building new skills. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring up Mohammed. And so yeah, he's an aerospace engineer. I'm sure you all know him. So let's give it up for Mohammed.
All right, awesome. Very, very well done, guys. Excellent. Short, sweet. Love it. All right, Adam, congratulations, bro. All right, you're going to be flipping $1 million houses. I love it. All right, so actually, I don't have a topic, but I'm just going to be, we have Vinod that's going to be joining us in just a minute. I'm just getting a hold of him now, so he's going to be coming on. So just hold on for 2 seconds while I get him to connect. All right. He's going to be covering the last topic, and I was somehow able to manage to kind of persuade him to connect. So let's do take advantage of his time. All right. So give me 2 seconds. He's just going to connect. All right.
Hi guys.
Hello, Naz and Alex.
Yeah.
How's it going? How's it
Yo,
going?
guys.
Stop disrupting the meeting now. I'm kidding.
No man. He's the guy. No, from back home.
Muhammad's on top of the pyramid here, so he has to make the call.
He's making the call. Let him make the call, man.
Hey,
How's it?
Adam, are you in New York, like right now?
Yeah, in Rochester, New York. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought New York City.
I know. I mean, I've been to New York City.
Nice.
So wait, where are you from, Jojo?
Oh, I'm originally from China. Right now I'm interning in New York City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I
I
thought
just had
you
a
were
plan in New York City.
and we can-
That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I just showed an appointment to this girl in New York City, so it was just before this call. So that's nice.
Okay, Vinod is just connecting, guys. So just to give you a quick background on him, for those of you guys that have not met him, Vinod is actually my coach in the business. All right. Some of you guys have met him. Some of you guys will be meeting him at the local conference. But just to give you a little bit about his background, he has a master's degree in electrical engineering. He actually studied at Arizona State, and he actually started his business during his master's program. All right. And as he's been building it over the years, he's 31 today. Okay. And he is financially where most people can't even imagine. Okay, he takes his entire full-time income and banks it into a savings account. His wife Abila she's also 31. She's going to be looking to retire in the next year. And most people in their 30s are looking to go back to get another degree. She's looking to leave everything altogether. Just about a month ago, Vinod was actually at a Lexus dealership, and he walked into the dealership, put down 30 grand for a car, and walked out within 15 minutes. Okay, so financially, he is where I'm sure a lot of you guys want to be. All right, so do listen carefully. I think yes. Okay, I think Vinod. Hey, Vinod, are you with us?
Vinod's here, yeah.
What's up, Mohammed?
Okay, perfect. So guys, without further ado, I'm just gonna pass it over to Vinod. Vinod, thank you again for joining. Do appreciate your time. Thanks.
Sure thing. How is everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Fired up.
Nice. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. This call has people from all corners of the US. I think we're missing Seattle, the Washington area, but every other corner is taken care of, I guess.
Don't worry, Vinod.
Nice. Good stuff, guys. Like what Mom was saying, my name is Vinod, and my wife Abida. And man, we are super excited about what's going on, business, life. I know, we're very excited about this team. Okay, like you guys are in a cutting edge team. That's one thing I want you to get. Coming into just attending a conference like this, one thing you should understand is that the thought process that you have access to is very high. Okay? There are several teams in Amway and BWW where this kind of environment itself is not there. Okay, so don't take the environment light. Okay, that's one thing which I would suggest. Take it extremely, and it's really with the entire organizations that we work with, our Upline Diamonds, Rashmi Smith, Gaurav and Sapna team. The thought process, the thinking is very high. Okay, here's what I would do in that kind of, when you're in a cutting edge team. Here's what you want to do. First, observe. Okay, observe. Now, what do I mean by that? Like, let's say, like tomorrow, I'll take let's see who's new out here. Edward. I see Edward out here. Okay. Or Alishan, you're not new, man. Edward. Let's take Edward. Okay, pretty new in business. Here's what I would do. Okay, if Edward, tomorrow, if you have a team, what will you do? If you have a team of 10, 15 people, what would you do? Okay. If you pay attention, if you actually observe what's happening at this point of time, when you have a team, you will already know what to do. Okay, that's something which you want to. So I'm going to challenge you guys to start upping the game a little bit with respect to learning. Okay? I know that we're talking about associations, we're talking about how to leverage an association. But I'm going to challenge you guys to take this to the next level. Okay? Let's not be the average IBO who learns just from the trainings. Okay? How about observing? When you go into a training like this, observe what was the topics covered. Who covered what topics. When you have a team tomorrow with 10, 15 people, what kind of topics will you assign? Okay? When will you set up this kind of a call? So think about things like that. And your learning should come from a lot more dimensions. It's not just the training your learning should come from. Okay? Second thing, now let's take an open meeting or a PACE meeting. Okay, I know some of you guys are in Orlando, Melbourne. You guys go to the open meeting out there. Something very basic you can do is, when you're at that open meeting, observe the small things. Okay, observe the big pins in that room. Okay, and see how they talk to people. How do they connect with people? Okay, like some of you guys are in Orlando. Okay, when you meet someone like Rick Fairchild, how does Rick talk to someone? How is Rick able to establish a connection with someone in 1 minute? Well, some other people, it takes days for them to establish a connection. Okay, so folks who are in Buffalo or Rochester, observe people like Manoj, like Ratan. Okay, observe them. Like, how is it that when Manoj talks to someone, he's able to establish a rapport immediately? Okay, so observe things like that as well. Okay, or even when someone's doing a training. Okay, let's take someone is doing a training in a PACE meeting or an open meeting. How are they connecting with a crowd? Okay, what are they talking about? How are they connecting with the crowd? A simple observation. Okay, I've seen that people who are brand new in business, okay, like in a PACE meetings, most of you attended a PACE meeting. Right? Someone who's brand new in business, typically when you're assigned a topic in a PACE meeting, let's take a CD for example. You're talking about a BSM. Okay, someone who's brand new usually talks about what is in the BSM talk. Someone will say, I listened to this talk, and this is what's in it. Okay, I challenge you to go to another level in that. Instead of talking about what's in it, talk about what you got from it. This is what's in the talk, but hey, this is what I got from it. And even further, this is what I'm going to implement from it. Okay? You will connect so much more with a crowd when you talk in that language. Instead of talking about what's in the talk. It's not a recital of the talk, right? So I want, up the game when it comes to associations, really up the game with that. Okay? It will help you tremendously in every area of your life. Every area of your life. It's amazing you guys is anybody here working, or pretty much all of you guys are students, right? Alisha's doing an internship, most of you guys, pretty much students, let's say. Okay. It'll give you an unfair advantage when you walk into an interview, knowing this kind of information. Unfair advantage. Okay. When the rest of the world is talking about technical stuff or talking about what you learn from a textbook, when you guys talk about what you learn from it, what you implemented, your experience off of it, man, you're playing a different game. Okay, so use what you learn here in every single area of your life, not just in business. Okay. Next thing, now I know that there is a major conference coming up. Yeah, major conference. There's one which is coming up in Dayton, Ohio on the 22nd. Okay, on the 22nd of July, there's a conference coming. Okay. Here's what I would do. I know all you guys are in different corners of the US at this point, but figure it out. Okay. For me, one function like this changed my business. The face of my business entirely changed with one conference like this. Yeah, it is going to take a little bit of an investment. Okay, investment of money. Okay. That conference ticket itself is about $125. Okay. Travel, food, everything put together. Assume about $200. $200. Let's take worst case. Assume $250. Okay. Assume $250. Towards your function and all that. Okay. What will you get out of that $250? Okay. Now, first, just by attending the conference, the knowledge you get is equivalent to the knowledge that you would have gotten with 6 months of active business building. Okay. What do I mean? Active business building is when you're actually listening to you're actually listening to all these BSM talks. You're actually doing every single activity. Okay. If you do it for 6 straight months, you will get the same level of knowledge that you will get in one weekend in this conference. Okay. Second thing which you'll get from there, you'll learn, your thinking will start expanding. Okay, your level of thinking, you're starting to operate in a different level at this point. Earlier, I remember when I was new in business, I used to think, hey, it'd be good if I could make an extra $200. It'll be good to make a part-time income. That's how I used to think in this business when I was new in business. Okay. And then when I came to a function like this, to a conference like this, I met senior VPs, vice presidents of companies, CEOs of corporations who are building this business and replace their income multiple times their incomes as well. Okay. So I met with people like that. I met with students. I met with 20-year-old kids who were platinums in the business, 18-year-old kids who were platinums in the business, making a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 income in this business. Okay. There's a person called Nick Nowoki, who's 26, I think 25 years old. Okay, 25-year-old guy from New York City, 25-year-old guy, and the guy is actually in diamond qualification right now. Okay, when I'm older than 25. Okay, I'm 31 years old. Okay? When I meet someone like Nick, it's like, man, how do you do this? It's an opportunity where I actually leverage to learn from him. Okay, so you actually use it to that, you learn from other people, learn how they do what they do. For me, one conference, I remember when I was new in business, for the first 6 months in business, I was making an average of $2 to $3 a month. Yeah, about $3. First check, $3.50. Second check, about $6. Average was about third check, nothing. There was no fast track at that point. Okay, when I was new in business, there was no $50 incentives as well. Okay, so my checks were like $2, $3 for the first 6 months. Okay, I went to one conference. I remember it was over the summer. I went to a conference, exact similar conference like this. Okay, 3 months from that point, 3 months from the point I went to the function, I was making about $200 a month. 6 months from the point I went to the function, I was making $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month, and my income's never gone below $1,000 a month from that point. Okay? Now, was it worth it? Was that $200 investment worth it? I guess so. It's been about 6, 7 years in business. Okay, that I've been making at least 1,000, and trust me, way more than $1,000 a month now. Yeah, it's spun off a lot from there. Okay. From that point, we've never missed a function. My wife and I, we've never missed a single function after that. Okay. Because hey, one function could change so many more things in business. Okay. As you know, and you, when you're at the function now, when you're at the function, leverage it. Just the same thing like how I was talking about the pace meeting, playing the game in another level. Use the same in a function too. Okay. When you come into a function, come into the line a little early. Okay, stand in the line a little early. Get a good seat right in the front. Get a good seat. It's not like class. I know in classrooms the goal is to take the last seat, the last bench possible. It's not like classrooms. This is entrepreneurship. And man, we run to the front of the stage. We go to the front of the stage, and we take good seats. Find good seats. Okay. Bring a notepad. You will trust me. You will fill up a notebook. That is the amount of information in this conference. You will fill up one entire notebook. Okay, and observe and learn. Okay, learn like there's going to be so much information shared in this conference that you will use every single information shared. Okay, some of it you might not use right away, but some of it, because they might be talking to someone they might be talking about creating a team of 30 people. At this point, you might be focused on creating a team of 10 people. Some of that information might not apply instantaneously, but keep it on hand. Keep it on hand. Learn it so that when you have a 30 people team, you don't have to scramble and try to learn at that point. I think that is a key ingredient in entrepreneurship, where you actually learn. You're ahead of the game. It's not like class where you learn a semester and then you write an exam and then you forget about it, and then you learn you go for the next semester, write an exam, and then you forget about it. It's not like that in entrepreneurship. It's actual life experiences. You're learning, you're implementing, you're growing from it. Okay. Third thing you get from a function that I would want you to seek out from a function. Okay. Seek out some of the people that you met on stage. Okay. There will be someone who comes on stage who will relate exactly to you. Okay, someone will relate to you, someone will connect with you in a very, maybe it's their background, maybe it's their education, ethnicity, work. In some form, they will relate to you. Okay, and seek out that person in the function, in the colleagues, in the stage, in the function itself. Seek out that person, and when you meet him, ask him questions. Hey, you know what? I know you're a student. I'm a student as well. I have this particular challenge as a student. I have this particular challenge that I'm dealing with. How did you overcome that challenge? I'm sure you had the same too. How did you overcome that? And you actually ask them questions. And you'll find that they are so willing and so open to answering questions. They share information tremendously. So use it. I've used that environment heavily. Okay. Next thing you want to do at a function is develop connections with your upline, with your coaches. Like I know you guys are working very closely with Mohammed. Develop connections with folks like Om and Ratan and Srija and of course us, and meet, introduce yourself, meet with people like Manoj and Arpita. Some of you guys who are in Buffalo, Rochester have access to him. Okay. Folks, and there are folks in my team who haven't yet reached a point in business where they've gotten access to people like Manoj. Okay, so folks who are in Rochester, man, trust me, you guys, Buffalo, Rochester, you have access to people like that. Okay, meeting people like Gaurav and Sapna and Vijay and Kaya. That is, most people listen to Vijay and Kaya and Gaurav and Sapna on CDs, on BSMs. Okay, that's the people we have access to. And of course, Rashmi and Smita and Ganesh Noy. You get a chance to meet all these big guns in this business. Okay? And when you meet them, take a picture. Take a picture with them. Use it when you're starting to show plans. I know some of you guys who shows plans here. People who are showing plans. People who show plans. Yeah. Quite a few showing plans. For folks who are not yet showing their own business plan, you will eventually. Okay. Take those pictures and use it in your business plan. Instead of saying that I work with a massive team, you can actually say, last week I was in a conference. Check this out. Here's some pictures. And show some pictures from stage. Show some pictures of people talking. Show some pictures one-on-one. This is my coach, Mohammed. At the end of this presentation, I'm going to see if I can connect him on the phone with you. So you actually, the ripple effect of one conference should be directly felt about 5, 6, 7 months into your business. Okay? That's how massive this conference can be. Okay? Yeah, it is an investment. Okay, and I do understand. As a student, I got started in this business as a student. Okay, and I do understand $200 is an investment to come up with $200. Okay, but here's the way I looked at it. If I was willingly spending $200 on entertainment, on fun stuff, without giving a second thought to it. Really, I'll give you an example. Okay, I went to school in ASU, Arizona State. And for us, the fun thing to do over a weekend would be to go to Las Vegas. Okay, we'd go to Las Vegas, Grand Canyon, LA, San Diego. We're in the middle of all of these. It's like a 5-hour driving distance to each of these cities. Okay, so here's what I did. I took, if I make one trip to Las Vegas or one trip to Grand Canyon, it would cost me about $200. Easy, right? I'm sure like folks who are in Buffalo, you go to one trip to New York City, $200, easy. Yeah. Same thing with Rochester or Pittsburgh or any, $200 is easy in that way. Okay. We are so willingly easy, we don't even think twice to spend $200 on an expense. When it comes to an investment, we think 100 times. Yeah. As an entrepreneur, what I needed to train myself to do was, hey, how do I look at investments? How do I channel my investments right? Yeah. Second, of course, investment with respect to time. You got to figure out the time part. I know some of you guys might be working over that weekend. Okay, all of us do. Okay, and as a student, if it's hard, even as a full-time professional, there are times when I have to work over weekends, and it's mission critical work over weekends sometimes. Yeah. But hey, if I do have to work over a weekend, I work that Thursday night or Friday night. I put in some extra hours. I fill up that gap, I finish it off. I tell them I'll come back on Monday morning and finish up the rest of the work. So, you make some adjustments that way too. Okay. But yeah, guys, this one conference, it's a total game changer. It's helped us in our business tremendously. Yeah, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are already set for the conference, and it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a lot of fun. Um, I also remember when my first conference. At that point, I remember, somewhere in the middle of my business career, I remember this is when me and Abida, my wife, we were dating at that point. Okay, and Abida didn't have too much of a clue of the business at that point. She really didn't have, she knew I was building something. She knew I was in the business. But it was like, she didn't really know how serious I was in it. She really didn't know what I was doing with it. Okay. And I remember there was one conference which happened during Valentine's Day. Oh boy. Okay, one conference happened on Valentine's Day. And, but you know what? I was like, I have to, it's a business. It's a company which I'm building here. I have to go. Okay. If it was Valentine's Day and if I had to show up at work, I would do it, right? Pretty much everybody would do it. If Valentine's Day fell on a Monday and you guys have a job, we would go to our jobs. Okay. And I treated it the same way. If I give so much importance to my job, why not give that same level of importance? If I can give so much importance to somebody else's business, why not give that same level of importance to my own business? Okay. I remember that weekend, me and Abida had a massive fight, obviously. Okay. But tell you what, today she talks about it. Okay, that weekend, yeah, we fought a lot about it. But today, there is so much of respect she has for this business and for me because of that weekend that I decided to go. She talks about it. You can ask, ask her. She talks about how, she talks about the fight too. But it's small things like that. Okay, these small things, basic things, it does a lot for your business. Okay. Then I'm pretty much done, guys. Anybody has any questions or anything? I can take a quick question or two. Anything you want me to address, Mohammed?
No, I think that pretty much covers everything.
That's cool.
I think everyone here is going to be plugging into Dayton.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about kind of what kind of environment or something was going to be there.
Oh, yeah. So Dayton is a 2-day function. Okay, it's going to start on Saturday. It ends on Sunday afternoon. Okay, so we're going to start on Saturday. Pretty much it starts around 2 p.m. Okay, so there's a session which starts at 2 p.m. Okay, the doors open at 1 in the afternoon. The doors open. The session's from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, that's the first session. Second session is going to be from 8 to midnight. 8 p.m. to midnight. Okay. Usually after that, midnight around 12:30, 12. We usually have a get together as well, which happens after that. Okay. And so probably take about half hour or so from there, half hour to 1 hour. One thing I will guarantee that you will lose in this weekend is sleep. You really will not get too much of sleep. Be prepared for that. Get a lot of excess, get a lot of rhodiola. Okay. But use that function to, those are your 2 sessions on Saturday. Okay. Sunday morning, there's a prayer session. Okay? Every religion, they have a prayer session Sunday morning. Okay. That's, it starts at 10 p.m., goes on till about 11:30. And at noon, there's a third session which happens, which is going to be a mechanics session. Entirely mechanics. It's going to talk about how do you do the basics of the business? What activities? How do you do these activities? We're going to talk about those aspects. Okay, entirely into the mechanics of the business. So that's your 3 sessions which are going to happen. Okay, because in between all of that, there's a lot of fun. Okay, before the session starts, there's a dance floor open. It is a riot. Okay, on Saturday evening, before the second session starts, dance floor opens up. And man, it's a blast. You will not think it's a business conference when you walk into the dance floor. You'll be surprised. This is a business conference. It's like a party. It's like a New Year's party, actually. It'll kind of look like that. Okay. I like that. I have a lot of fun, but I like that. Okay, but you'll have a lot of fun. You'll enjoy it. Okay, I definitely look forward to hanging out with you guys, man, at the function.
Vinod, quick question.
Yes, sir.
Would we be able to meet Rashmi and introduce everybody to him? Or
Yeah,
Because I know
absolutely.
he's there behind the
Absolutely.
curtain.
Saturday night, there's going to be like a small association, small night owl with Rashmi. So it's going to be on Saturday night after the night session. Yeah, we will be able to meet up with Rashmi, definitely. Yep, that is a game changer in itself. A couple of minutes with that man has, that is a game changer in itself. Yep.
Hey, Vinod, I had a question.
Yes, sir.
Would you have any advice for IBOs in their orientation phase?
In their orientation phase. Okay. IBOs, so someone, let's say, who's brand new in business, like let's say a week in business. Someone like that?
Yeah.
Best decision is a function. It is the best possible start to your business. Actually, the best possible start to your business to get into a function straight. The level of business acceleration you get, it's like, like to an extent, it is. I envy folks who are brand new in business and you get straight into a function. Your thinking level is so high right off the bat that you start operating like an entrepreneur right from the beginning. Most IBOs, most new people, we operate our business like a hobby in the beginning. It's like something which we're doing on the side, something we're chilling, just kicking it around to see if it moves, that kind of thing. But when you come to a function, the game changes. It becomes a real business. It's a real company. It's a corporation. Your thought process, your level of thinking actually changes. So brand new person, best possible start to come to a function.
Thanks, Vinod. Appreciate it.
Sure. Yep. Nice. Anything else, guys? Any other questions?
Hey, Vinod, I was just wondering if maybe I could call you later about it, but I was wondering about getting started in Latin America.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Yeah, go for it. I would, in fact, when you're at the function, you'll meet people who are building Latin America business.
Okay.
Start connecting with them. Talk to them. Hey, I'm looking to build like I have business in Mexico. Okay. I'll introduce you to some folks who are building Mexico business, with building Colombia and different markets. I'll introduce you to folks like that. When you come into a function, get some connections with people like that.
Okay.
And you'll get to know, you'll get to learn, hey, where do you have a team? Do you have a pace happening over there? Do you have a home plan coming up?
Okay.
How does your team turn into workshops? So when you have someone in that city, you can plug them into the same workshops too. Yeah, that's a great way to use the function for
Perfect. That. Excellent.
Nothing.
That's awesome. Thanks, Vinod.
Sure, buddy. Yep. Anytime, man, Adam. Cool. Awesome, guys.
Thank you for coming, Vinod.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Thanks, Vinod.
Thank you, Vinod.
You guys are doing great. I look forward to. Oh, last thing, guys. Before you leave from the function, one last. Before you leave from the function, make sure that you get a game plan. Sit with the person who you're working with and get a game plan for the next 3 months. What do you do? The function's going to give you so much of excitement, so much of knowledge. Okay, but knowledge and excitement without direction, it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so right before you leave from the function, make sure you get a game plan from who you're working with. If you're working with Shabir, if you're working with Mohammed, make sure you get a game plan from these guys. Talk to Mohammed, get a clear, you should have complete clarity on what you're doing in the next 90 days when you come out from a function. Right. Awesome, guys. I think that's pretty much that.
Excited. Thank you, Vinod.
Cool. Yeah, thank you. Thank you again for your time, Vinod. Really do appreciate it.
Anytime.
Thanks, Vinod.
Yep. You guys have a great night. Rock and roll.
Good night.
See you all in Dayton.
Thanks.
All right. See you then.
Thanks, Vinod. All right, guys, it's a wrap, and I will see you guys later. All right.